Okay, so this is a big group, and we're just going to keep kind of continuing on with the conversation about being curious, but we also want to talk about how Alex helped build himself connections in his own community, and let him take questions. So there's pieces of paper on your table. If you have some specific questions you want to ask and you don't want to ask them, like through the microphone, you can always write them down. And then just raise your hand and I'll come pick them up. And then I'll read them and then Alex can answer them. Because that's going to be most of this session, is just continuing the conversation that we had in the keynote. One of my favorite team building activities that I like to do with people revolves around filling out this little questionnaire. And if you need help, every table has adults at it, combined with maybe some youth. So if people need help and maybe they're struggling to be able to read the questions, this is part of curiosity, is asking people, do you need some help? And you can help your neighbors. So these are all questions that you're going to share your answers to the questions with a partner after everybody gets done answering them. So I'm going to ask people to find a partner, and they're going to read their answers to you, and then you're going to read your answers to them. When I do this I work with a lot of sports teams. And when I work with sports teams, hands down, this activity is a fan favorite. Why do you think that is? These are questions like, I'm grateful for ... I'm afraid of ... Some people don't like to share what they're afraid of. I'm afraid of the dark. Or excuse me, I'm afraid of heights. I don't like big heights. I don't mind like roof heights, but I don't like anything higher than a roof. Even if I know I'm in a enclosed elevator, when I look out of something that's like super high, not my thing, right? So my favorite cartoon character is my favorite childhood memory. Everyone should have some kind of childhood memory. I worked with a sports team last night, and a girl answered this question. My favorite childhood memory is watching my sister fall off of a four-wheeler and land in a pile of mud. I'm like, really? That's your favorite childhood memory? And the worst part is her sister was on the team. They were both on the team. And I thought that was funny. Something that brings me joy. Something that makes me happy. Something that causes me stress. Something that I'm worrying about. Who in this room worries? Okay, I do a little bit, I'll be honest. I was worried presenting in front of 800 people. I wasn't worried about you guys. I was worried about tech. That's what brings me worry, is the technology is not going to work. That's why there's an awesome guy in the back of the room that if I need help, I'm not afraid to say, the technology is not working. Can you please help me? Why is that such a hard thing for us to talk about? What we need help with? What's the number one? Who can answer that question? Yeah. It's easier to just sit quietly, right?
People like don't want to ask for help.
Nope.
They don't like.
Some people really struggle with asking for help. What else? Ooh, good answer. Feeling not enough or inadequate. Okay. What else?
So as far as I can remember, I've never been afraid to ask for help. So my role is to have people like watch me asking for help here and everywhere else that
To model it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
That is what I do. I'm not afraid to ask help. And I probably
That's good. That
lovely presentation. I'll probably ask for something.
That's an advocacy skill, right? What else?
Feel like you're maybe bothering somebody.
Oh, ooh, you feel like you're bothering someone. Okay, when people ask me for help, the first thing that I do, put this away. Put this away. This, I showed you in the other room that this thing is not more powerful than human connection. You guys remember that? I put the energy stick in a circle and then I stuck a phone in there and the phone disrupted the energy. This thing is a disruptor to our life. It's very helpful. I use it for a lot of stuff. It helps me with lots of things, but it takes courage to make this go away. My phone's on permanent do not disturb. And I run a business. And I'm busy. People always find a way to get a hold of me, and I always find a way to get a hold of them, just not right now. Leave me alone. Please and thank you. I'm busy. Yeah. I turn my phone on do not disturb permanently. There are certain numbers in here that will override that. My family, all their numbers have special trump cards for the do not disturb. They'll come through, they'll ring. And when those ring, I usually have to pay attention to that. But other than that, nothing else. My best team building client can't get a hold of me. I don't care. I care about other things like being present in the moment, right? Like, I think that's super important, what you just said about bothering people, right? Who else? Anybody else? Yeah.
So you might feel like your question is stupid, or like if everybody else knows the answer, you might feel dumb or unintelligent.
So feeling dumb or unintelligent because you're asking somebody a question, where does that come from? Your head, right? It comes from your head. So these are all really good questions that I want everyone to take time to answer these and be a helpful neighbor, right? If people in your little circle, everyone has a table, if people at your table need help, offer to help them. Maybe somebody struggles to write down answers. Provide them accommodations. We can naturally accommodate most things. It's not rocket science, right? We can help people. We can ask, hey, I'll write down your answers. You just tell me what they are. And sometimes we automatically try to help people. I had a teacher one time, we used to have kids wipe down tables in the cafeteria. And then I became the transition coordinator, and that came to an end. We stopped doing that. Why would I want to stop kids from wiping down tables in the cafeteria? Because they were better than that. They were better than that. We stopped doing that. We sought meaningful employment experiences in the community at nonprofits. And then we evaluated talent just like a business would do. And then we got them out into community jobs all around us. I mean, look around. This community is rich with lots of opportunities for employment. And Alex said he works for the biggest Culver's in the state. He's telling the truth. That Culver's is huge. It has a big conference room. It's gigantic. Yes. Yeah, there's lots of really good programs that have kids engaging in meaningful employment experiences. We can't just assume that because somebody has significant challenges that they can't do significant work. We have to stop doing that, right? Like, that's curiosity at work. Ask questions of an employer like, hey, it looks like you're really busy checking people out in the morning and you need help in your breakfast area. Because most hotels, it's someone else is doing that job. So I would go and ask questions, say, hey, I got a student who would love to do this job and will be here every single day to do it. Boom. Even if it's 2 hours, it's a start. And then it just ramps itself up. Next thing you know, there's a guy who runs the shipping and distribution center at Walgreens that intentionally hired 1,000 people with disabilities to work inclusively on the floor at Walgreens distribution center. And then he studied those 1,000 people. And what he found was they were better workers, they showed up more, they were happy to be there, and they impacted other people to be happy and positive. That speaks volumes, right? Like you can't argue that. That's evidence. This guy had all of the data to back that up. I think that's impressive. Yeah.
Well, I do have a speech therapist. I'm a type of person, I did work, I was age 17, no college skills, but I did went to school for special ed kids, but I made kids in vocational training school. No buck jobs, but they tell you how to get a job. I kept my job about 10 years in Chicago, for domestic 10 years.
Wow.
And then my other job, I did almost 6 years. Now Walmart, I can't, because I got city book, but I maintained a paper job. I work since I'm 17 years old.
That's awesome.
Yes, I have a disability. See, people tell how you do it. I don't know.
You still have ability.
Yeah.
Plug in your cell phones, they don't care. Like in Appleton, where I'm from, Wisconsin, they don't want to work or let them on their cell phones. Since we're kids rising, all these kids want to do is get in their cell phones.
What we permit, we promote, right? You go into a Quick Trip, you will not see people on their phones. Employees are not on their phones. So that points to accountability, right? Kids with special needs that have really good job coaches or skilled trainers, that'll be addressed immediately. Those kids will not be on their phones. They will be engaged. That's a difference maker right there. An employer will automatically put you into a higher classification just because you're happy to be there and you want to work. Yeah.
I've worked at the Target store in Fond du Lac for over 31 years.
31 years. That's incredible. That's a great company too, right? There's so many good companies that are ambassadors for hiring people with disabilities. Culver's is incredible. The Culver's here in the Dells, we're fortunate to have 2 of them. They will always take the opportunity to listen to someone's story and find a path for them within that company. Even if it's something small that can get big, they'll do it. They always do. Yeah.
My mother was a banker, so she got me, but I had a disability, but you can't teach a child to work with a disability. And even though it might take him a long time, but you can train them.
Oh yeah,
You can train them.
absolutely.
It's gonna take work, but
Takes a long time. Yes.
Not to introduce the battle of the fast food restaurants, but my company is really, really good at that. They actually will work with you if you have a disability. Like if normally I have to stand up for the imperative, but since my stroke today, now I guess I kind of set down. They work with me, they've given me what I needed. So my company is really good. I've been to I've worked with some employers who aren't that good.
Yeah, look at all the things we learned from COVID. People can do things from home. We can change what work looks like. We just have to be curious. Curiosity starts the conversation about why can't people work from home? Why can't people sit down as long as they can demonstrate that they're productive? Why can't we be better than having kids wipe down tables in a cafeteria? Right? Like everyone can work, right? This is a big, huge push for employment first and all the initiatives that come from our state level about all kids can have meaningful employment in the community. So back to this, take some time to answer these questions, help each other, and then have some conversations with your table. Pick a partner, or you could even have a group of 3 if you want to. Just talk with your whole table about these questions. Maybe each person pick one that they want to answer. You guys decide how you want to do it, as long as you're exploring and being curious about the questions on here, because they're all really good. Okay, we'll give you about 10 minutes to do this. Okay, I'll put a timer up on the screen. Okay, I'll try to bring everybody back. You guys could probably keep. How many tables could just keep on going? This table was a chat. You were chatty. Yeah. That's why I love this activity, because when I work with I work with a lot of volleyball teams, and right now volleyball teams are getting ready for the postseason. No amount of X's and O's and drills are going to help them at this point. They've been working on that since September and then into October, and now it's mid-October. That's not what they need. They need to be bonded, and they need to be mentally engaged. It's very similar to what we need as people supporting others. We need to be tightly bonded, and we need to know people's strengths and their weaknesses. People don't like to talk about things that are vulnerable, but some of these questions point to vulnerability, which is really important. I showed people the energy stick. This thing's basically just runs on creating energy that goes through the stick, and it has a little battery in it. Who could find some significant use for this in their work? Okay. This you guys all work together?
No, we do.
Huh?
We do.
You guys work together? Okay. So I'm going to give you one, and I'm going to give you guys one too. Yeah. I have a couple. What's that? You have to come if anybody else wants a chance to get some of these, you have to come to the Curiosity Lab.
I just said to her, we need one of those, and then you said it.
I used to use it when I was a teacher. I would greet kids at the door in the morning with the whoa. What was that? The energy stick didn't do that. Oh, it stopped. So these guys are going to burn out. They're going to burn out the energy stick before they get to use it. Oh, no, you have to.
Yeah, I know, but that's.
Yeah, you have to close the connection. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Do I have another one? No, that's why I said you'll have to come. We're doing a Curiosity Lab at 2:45, and we have 4 more energy sticks that we'll give away. So I only had 2, so I gave them all out. Yeah, go ahead.
So I just wanted to say I met this lovely gentleman at ILF. He was the presenter, and right away I was like, I want to be able to see this guy again, and then he ate dinner with me, and I found out he was going to be here. So here I am.
We seem to connect every so often. It's kind of funny. You never know who you're going to run into, right? So, like I said in the keynote, I wanted to have an opportunity for people to ask Alex questions that you couldn't ask him when we were in the main session. So, does anybody have something written down, or does anybody want to ask Alex a question? Can you guys hear?
Can you give a little bit, we had to leave the keynote, can you give a little bit?
Yeah, do you want to maybe share? Some people in the room weren't in the keynote for the entire thing, so they might have missed Alex's kind of his story. And I asked Alex to answer 4 questions, and I have those questions up on the screen. So when I put them back up here, that might spark some curiosity to ask other questions. So maybe, Kay, if you want to give like a little short version of, or Alex, if you want to tell your story about, very short and sweet, like where you were in high school and where you are now. Yeah. Here, you want to just
Talk about what you did.
My school years were Edgerton. Well, I enjoyed it. It sure was a long road. Yeah. Ever since high school, I met Mrs. Paulson. I met her.
that was Alex's teacher in high school.
Yeah, and
She was the catalyst.
also during my high school years, I got in for forensics for whole years, but for first I was in for forensics. I got a bronze medal, and after that I went to state for the first time, and I got a silver medal, and also my last 2 years of that, I got 2 gold medals. Huh? Huh? I made a speech of forensics. I do. First, I talk about what one of my favorite basketball players who once played basketball in the past, who can jump as an eagle, and also he can slam the dunk. He was numbered 23. Michael Jordan.
Yeah, he was really good.
But ever since I went on YouTube of him, I also saw scenes where he was in what I have at home. It's a movie called Space Jam.
Oh, good movie.
And also for first time I got to state. I talked about how to make chocolate chip cookies, and I got a silver medal, and also as a junior and senior, I went back to state, and but for first I got a gold medal. I talked about friendship, and also and last as a senior, I talked about Evianton. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I also do research of actors and actresses, and also I went on research of characters for movies, and also I also looked up which ones were son-in-laws and daughter-in-laws.
anybody can just, if you throw out a date, it's kind of an odd skill, but it's kind of cool. If you say to Alex, so Alex, what actor was born in 1939?
1939 births. He was here's this guy. He was from Lord of the Rings, and he had a gray beard and a gray hair, and he held in his hand, and he played that wizard called Grendolf, and he was also in Beauty and the Beast with Emma Watson and Dan Stevens, and he was one of the objects and at the castle, and he was Cogsworth, but you know who that guy is? No one knows. Ian McCollum.
So anybody, just somebody brought a date.
2000, Alex.
Anybody that was born in 2000.
I think one I know is from the one I saw with my mom called the Little Mermaid. I think that one who played Ariel, who was born that year. And also she was born on the same day as same day as mine. March 27th.
That's impressive. So I have a little thing that I give these to athletes when I know that they are, I call some athletes, I try to teach them to be savages, right? When you're a savage as an athlete, you're a competitor. Nothing scares you. Even when you're scared, nothing scares you. Big difference. And when you're an athlete and you're falling to pieces like a carrot, if you listen to my keynote, carrots fall to pieces. You can't do that in sports. We have to build mental capacity for people to be strong. And Alex has a lot of strengths. So last night when I did my workshop, I gave everybody one of these thumbs up, and they're made out of gold. It's not real gold, Alex, but it's gold plated.
I know.
Gold color. Yep.
I know that.
Yeah. So I had the kids all write words about their teammates. And they had to pick one word that described each teammate and write it on their little gold thing. And this will stand up. It's not this, right? It won't stand up like this. It won't stand up like this. It only stands up when it's a thumbs up. So I wrote inspiring on Alex's. So I'm going to give you your thumb, and you can have that. You can put that where you want. Yeah. Yeah, George is going to say something.
Alex, what is your favorite color?
Huh?
What's your favorite color?
Blue is my favorite color.
I gotta tell you a story. Alex, tell me when you got your job at Culver's and you sat there with Scott Malone and your mom and I, what did you tell them? What did you tell Scott about the color blue?
Because blue is my favorite color, and I like to work here.
Because you're
My shirt,
because I get to wear the blue shirt.
as it's right.
He was so excited, you guys, and he has done nothing but a shining star since he started it. Nothing but, I'm so proud of him.
Huh? No, no way.
we're
No.
just good. We're just
No.
good friends.
No.
We do kind of look alike, don't you think, Alex?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Whoa, look at all these people that want to ask you questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
How long have you worked at your Culver's?
For 10 years.
A decade.
Yeah.
I just wanna say, for you to stand in front of there and talk to this room full of people takes an enormous amount of courage. And you are a role model and a guide for everyone with disabilities that have been involved. Awesome stuff.
Thanks.
Did you get a job interview at Culver's?
I did. I did.
What's your most, what's your favorite thing about your job since you've been there? What do you like the most about it?
Like vacuuming.
Alex is very meticulous about things being done a certain way. So vacuuming is probably something that he really enjoys because he wants to do it right. And it's such a big area too. It's huge.
I have two things. So what are all your tasks at Culver's? And can you please introduce everyone at this table?
So she wants you to introduce all the significant people at this table.
My mom right there. And my big brother Casey
Nice. Hi, Casey.
and my former teacher Georgia Paulson.
What can you introduce me?
Yeah.
What?
And this guy is Brian.
This guy.
And I have to bow for Alex that if you've ever been to the world's largest Culver's in New Zealand, Wisconsin, there's no Culver's. I would put it up against every Culver's in the United States. It is the cleanest and the neatest. And people tell me that.
It's well vacuumed.
What else do you do at Culver's besides vacuuming?
I clean the tables and chairs and also I spray the windows and make it cleaner.
You're
And
an expert cleaner at Culver's in Newsville, Wisconsin. Got it.
Yep. It's a transition to and from Milwaukee. You can't avoid going past that Culver's, and there's no construction there right now, right? It's construction free for once.
I haven't seen him in a long time.
Back there.
Yeah.
From Milwaukee?
No, from Janesville.
What's your hobby? What do you like to do?
Exercise and help my family.
Sorry, I said one more. What was that?
I had a question. Do you play drum?
Huh?
Do you play drums or any other musical instruments?
Well, I learned it. I learned to play the guitar and drums by then.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. You.
Do you do the Special Olympics at all?
No, not at all.
Okay, thank you.
What gives you the courage to stand up in front of like others and like do your subject?
Huh? That one?
What gives you the courage to do what you're doing now, is to get up in front of others? Are you scared at all right now?
No, of course not.
Alex, how are you so?
Because the forensics, right?
Yeah.
We want to stay on this question for a minute. What gives you confidence to do this? To stand up in front of people, because a lot of people are saying there's no way that I could do what you're doing, but you're doing it.
It takes me courage to do it.
We're at a conference about courage, right? And this is super like revelationary.
If you could do anything in the world job-wise, what would you do?
Any job you want, what would it be? You can't say Culver's because you already have that job.
I think someday I want to be Um, I'm I'm a magician.
Yeah.
But 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 of course not. Of course not.
No fear.
I just want to know, how did you feel like going into your interview for Culver's? Like, was it hard for you at all? Was it easy for you to answer questions?
Not hard at all.
Okay.
He just said he likes blue. That's all he had to say. And it was, you're hired.
Yes.
I have a question for you, that I'm just wondering, that I think, I have a friend, who actually works at Culver's, right in the Underwood area where I live. And she can find a very favorite jobs and tasks that she likes. So my question to you is that, what is your favorite thing to actually do at Culver's?
What's your favorite job at Culver's? Of all the jobs that you mentioned, which one do you like the most?
I couldn't pick.
Oh, try, you can pick one, Alex.
Yeah.
Just pick one.
What's your favorite?
Spray the windows.
All right.
He likes to make the dirty windows clean. Yeah, you could do outside windows too?
I would.
Okay.
Do people talk to you when you're doing the cleaning?
Huh?
Do people talk to you when you're like cleaning there?
No, of course not. No, of course.
With all the exercise you do, how long do your shoes last?
Not long.
Jeez. Alex is just gets right to the point with his questions. You guys are great. You guys ask lots of questions. This is awesome.
What's your best memory that you had as a child or growing up?
What's the thing that you liked best about growing up, honey? Any place that we went or anything that happened in school? What's the best thing that happened?
Going on vacations.
Where?
What was your favorite vacation?
I think California.
That's cool. California.
Do you have any pets?
Well, so, but back in the past, and also during the years that they died.
Oh,
Because they sometimes they got old and died.
Did you have a dog or like a cat?
Well, one last dog,
Dog. Okay.
Marley.
Marley.
Alex, do you like Marley?
Sometimes I don't. But I also I also have one last cat, Charlie.
Do you like Charlie?
Is Charlie like you?
No, but I can't. My mom picked him.
Someday you might end up at Culver's. Okay.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself?
Huh?
Where do you see yourself, or what do you see yourself doing, say, 10 years from now?
How old are you right now, Alex?
Just 30 years old.
So when you're 40, what will you be doing?
I'm not sure. Internation? What internation?
Some water spilled, Alex. No biggie. It will clean up.
Will you still be at Culver's when you're 40?
I hope so.
Alex will still be at Culver's. He's
Maybe you'll be a his
Alex, I think I could show you some magic.
Sure.
Yeah. Yep. You keep answering questions. I'm gonna bring out a magic trick.
Do you clean at home too?
I do. Yeah,
You make your own meals sometimes?
I do.
Do you like to cook?
I do. Well, chicken strips, and that's when my mom taught me. She taught me that. but sometimes sometimes it's kind of wiggly and it's kind of like pasta, like that's right. Right. Oh, that's easy. Chocolate's the best.
It's custard.
Thanks.
If I could get cleaner at work, do you also help out at home?
Yeah,
What do you do at home?
I do the
Alex, can you come over here for a second?
I do laundry at home.
Okay, Alex, we're gonna do a little magic.
All right.
Okay. So I'm gonna put the battery inside that house,
All right.
and I'm only gonna move 3 sticks.
All right.
Okay, are you ready?
Of course.
Okay, you count.
1, 2, 3.
There's some magic. You could do that trick.
I can.
Yeah, you could do it at work and show your boss that you could make objects go into a house.
I
with
would.
sticks.
I would.
That's a simple magic trick, right?
It is.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Magic. Other questions for Alex? He's just getting ramped up now. He doesn't drink Mountain Dew anymore, but you sure wouldn't know it, right? He's who?
Yeah.
You went through your interview process at Culver's. Did you have one interview, more than one interview?
1.
One sealed the deal. They wanted him.
I don't. But my also 7 years ago, my wife got married, and I have a sister-in-law.
Oh. Maybe between 30 and 40, there'll be a girlfriend will come into the picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you like rock music?
Do you like rock music?
Sometimes I do.
How is transportation in Janesville for you?
Can you get places?
Yeah, I do.
Is it good? Good services?
Yeah, it is.
Wonderful.
How often do you walk to work?
Huh? 5 days a week.
So I take him to work in the morning and then he gets service from work home.
Alex's mom is a school psychologist, so she works in the Cambridge School District. So she can drop him off, and then she can take you take Highway 12, go to
Alex,
Cambridge.
explain to them where Culver's is located and why you can't walk there. It's right west. It's on the interstate.
It's interesting.
It'd be too dangerous to
Yeah,
navigate that.
yeah, it is. Huh? Yeah.
Tell the story about how didn't you talk your mom into going on a vacation so you could stay home by yourself?
Yeah, I did.
So, and that is the truth. So, yeah, so Casey talked me into going to Newfoundland. A year and a half ago, a year ago. And Alex decided that he could be on his own and I'd never left him. And that was a big deal because he'd never been left overnight. And that's a worry. It's a worry for all of us. The students or kids or whatever, if they're going to be able to be okay. I don't have to worry about that. I was gone for 10 days. He was checked on by my sister occasionally.
Yeah.
But he handled it and he took care of the animals that he doesn't like.
Even the cat survived.
And all my plants survived. So, yeah.
But on that note, I can remember him in school with me years prior to that moment, where we worried about him getting to nuts. Oh, yeah. So that's how much he's grown. It's amazing.
Did you, Alex, when you started to prepare for your interview for Culver's, did you do any research about the company? Like, what kind of questions did they ask you in your interview process?
Hmm. Let's see.
What they ask you your name. They ask you just what kind of job you like to do.
Yeah, I just,
And actually, the owner of the Culver's, his name is Scott Malone. He is a proud owner of 3 Culver's, and presently in Janesville. He sold the one that's in Newville now. That's the new owner that he works for. But back then, when he asked him this question, Scott explained to Alex his interest in Culver's came because he lived again across the street years ago from Craig Culver, who is the originator of Culver's. That's how he got involved with Culver's. So immediately when he sat down with Alex and his mom and I and started asking questions, he immediately said, when Alex said, all I want to be is part of the Culver's family and we're blue.
That was it.
That was it.
Done deal.
That was it. It was a done deal.
So I have a really funny story that I want to share with you about a student that I worked with. This story, I have 2 stories. They're both absolutely hilarious and both had happy endings. I had a student, his name was Charlie. I called him Chuck. He called me Mr. BK because my name is Brian Kenny. I'll leave that open to interpretation. And he would drive past both Culvers on his way to school, and he would tell me the flavor of the day at both of them. He also would tell me the cheapest gas prices in the Dells. He had autism, but autism did not have him. He had a ton of energy, and he worked at the Ramada, and he worked in the breakfast area, and it just so happened that one of our paraprofessionals worked there on weekends, so he had a natural support in the workplace. And a group of Mennonites had come to the Ramada. There was a big, huge convention for Mennonites, and he was so good at making sure everything was stocked in that breakfast area. He ran that like a boss. I mean, he was all over that. And the lady who was with her husband, they were probably in their 60s, she put jelly on her waffle, and he freaked out about it. He went up to her, and when she wasn't looking, he brought her a new waffle and grabbed her other one away and replaced it with another one and said, "You're supposed to put maple syrup. I saw that you put jelly on yours and you screwed yours up." And she was so curious. That's the situation where somebody could be very judgmental. And, how dare you do that? You don't touch my food. And she was so kind to him. She said, "Well, I really appreciate you bringing me a new waffle because mine had gotten cold," because they were talking. The group of people were talking. So she said, "However, I'm going to put jelly on this one, so don't take it away." And he started to argue with her. They started like bantering. And she said, "Young man, I've been putting jelly on my waffle longer than you've been alive." And that went into like how long he'd been alive. And it ended with, she wrote a little comment in the comment box about this young man, Charlie. He's precious. You should give him some kind of special job here, like a crown. Ramada got new ownership, and they just, for whatever reason, didn't want to keep Charlie. So we transitioned him to Kalahari. I'm going to look for him today. He's here. This was 10 12, 13 years ago. He's still here. As a matter of fact, he trains all the Project Search kids here that do housekeeping for their internships. The kid's amazing. He was Employee of the Year for the entire company. Not just this place, the whole company. There's 4 Kalaharis, soon to be 5. He got a free room for a weekend, got flown out to Sandusky, got to fly on Kalahari's airplane, and he was arguing with the pilot about, I don't know, he was arguing with the pilot about something, and he's just amazing. I had another student that was interviewing at Kalahari. He was our first kid. He was our pilot. And we got the interview questions from Kalahari. We practiced. And that morning, his name was Cypress. Cypress was obsessed with like some video game that he wanted to buy, and he kept on bringing it up in the car. I normally don't go to places with our kids, but I wanted to go to this interview because I wanted to make sure that 1 turned into 2 and 2 turned into 20. So I'm sitting there and I'm just watching the interview and I'm trying to just find a quiet place to be quiet. And the interview is going fine, and all of a sudden this question comes up that was not rehearsed. And I just freaked out. I'm like, this ain't gonna end well. She said, well, what are you gonna do with your first paycheck? And he said, well, I'm gonna buy a video game and then I'm not ever coming back here. I just sat there and I was like, what? Did he just say that? And the human resources director, her name is Tracy Jones. She's amazing. I'm going to go find her today too. And I'm going to find Cypress because he's here too. And we're going to have a little party. So the human resources director looks at him and she goes, well, what if we like you? And you get your first paycheck, are you going to just leave? What if we like you and we want to keep you? You seem really likable. He said, well, I'll have to think about it. And you fast forward to 2023. They've had all kinds of troubles trying to understand both Charlie and Cypress, but they don't ever give up. Kalahari has never given up on those 2 kids, and they've been difficult. That's amazing. And I would be willing to bet you that Culver's, when Alex comes in, people are excited for him to be there because he does all of his jobs to a T, and he makes people happy. He's inspiring. That's why I wrote it. Oh, there you are. I didn't know where you went.
How about that?
He's magic. He just disappeared. He's a magician. So, do you think, Alex, that if you had a message for other kids with disabilities that are trying to get a job and don't know if they're employable, what would you say to some young person who's 18 and wants to get their first job, but they're scared?
You've got to get an interview first before you can take the job, and before you try the job and see if you like it.
Yeah, take a risk, right?
Yeah,
Go-
take a risk.
Yeah, you've done that.
If you don't like it, there's other jobs out there.
Yep, and if Culver's knows that they have somebody like Alex, they're going to want more Alexes. Companies are smart. They want people who are going to bring more people, especially if they're curious people. And anytime I've ever had students with disabilities out on a job site, there's always been problems, but they work through the problems. And there's a meaningful day, and the kids come back and they would try, they do better, they learn, they show up, and it's a good partnership.
I've worked for many years in West Virginia, job developer. And I can share this because I've never forgot. Had a young man that went on an interview, would tell the manager interviewing him.
He was nervous.
And hiring him, and asked him, this, and I thought of it, and then what would you do for his paycheck? He said, if we were to hire you, what would you do with your first paycheck? And this young man's answer was, I'd pay taxes just like you, and then I wouldn't have to worry about the programs that we have money for. And it just floored me. This gentleman looked right at it, and he said, when can you start?
When are you available?
That whole, when he said, then I, to help fund programs like I don't have. It just, it was so profound, and I shared that with the supervisor. We took him to many conferences like this because he became very, very successful when we went through.
Yeah.
He has a higher than me, and I'm so very, very proud of him.
It's awesome.
Just through honesty and looking straight down, he said it. It can be done.
Absolutely, it can. Yeah.
So I just wanted to share a little stuff. I actually have two favorite cartoon characters. Yogi Bear and
Hey, boo boo.
my favorite childhood memory is actually camping at Yogi Bear Campground with my family.
A picnic basket. I love Yogi Bear. That's who else? Who else wants to share? My favorite cartoon character is Scooby-Doo. Do you guys want to hear me do Scooby-Doo? Oh. Yeah. Elmer Fudd, rabbit season, duck season, rabbit season, duck season. Oh, Tom and Jerry is, I used to get up early in the morning just so I could watch Tom and Jerry in peace until my brothers would get up, and then there was no more peace. And I would eat my breakfast and just sit and watch Tom and Jerry, and I had it timed out. Like the episodes were going to be 10 minutes. I had a break. I could go brush my teeth. I could come back, watch another one. My mom would get so frustrated. She would just pull the cord right out from the wall because we would just sit there and we got to go. No, Tom and Jerry's on. It's the last one. It's going to be good. And my mom would be like, they're all good. He's just going to go and run into the hole. And Jerry's going to get beat up by the mouse. Or Tom's going to get beat up by the mouse. Oh, Mr. Rogers.
Well,
Yeah. It's the best show. When he would go into the land of make-believe, it's people need to be dreamers, right? Like, if you're not a dreamer, that's why I love how Alex thinks about like what he might, he has to think about what are you going to be like in 10 years. I think about that all the time. Who's a dreamer in the room? Okay, that's awesome. When you have that taken away, you're just going to be kind of flatline, right? You're just going to be stagnant. You have to think endless possibilities. It's no different than the way I would think about people with disabilities and self-advocacy, self-determination, independent living. Like, you got to have a plan, and you better have a plan B, right? Or plan C. This morning when I set up the technology, it filtered out my 2 YouTube videos that I wanted to play. If I wouldn't have rehearsed all the technology, that would not have ended well. And I don't like tech issues because I stand there and it just ruins the flow and it causes me to be like, "Ugh, I should have prevented this." Okay, any other questions, things people want to share? Yeah.
Have one more question. Is this the first major conference you've ever spoken at?
No, I didn't.
For, like, the state of Wisconsin?
At the wilderness, I did.
Yeah,
Transition.
he spoke at the transition conference. That was pretty big. That was about 500 people. But this one was way bigger, right? So now Alex he doesn't know this, but I've been asked to run the gathering of youth for Children Come First, and I might see if Alex wants to help me with that and be a partner so we can do that together. That's a 2-day conference. Yeah. Yeah, so he might have to put that on his radar. I think that would be really fun. Is anybody familiar with the Gathering of Youth for Children Come First? It's super cool. The Children Come First conference is in the spring. I think it's in Stevens Point, and they have sessions for parents, and they have a Gathering of Youth, which is awesome because then the parents can just focus on learning what parents need to learn and not have to worry about their kids. We take the kids and do leadership stuff with them for 2 straight days. It's a blast. So I've heard. So yeah, we're not done partying yet, Alex and I. So.
Also spoken at little agency nights that I have held in Edgerton too, 3 times. Yep. Community conversations at Culver's, where we had all these business people there, and he spoke in front of them too. So he's becoming quite the speaker.
Yeah, he might have to start his own little
That might be his future.
entrepreneur adventure. This is awesome that we had all this time to just navigate questions. And everybody was asking questions, more questions. So yeah, let me see if I can, this thing's being really slow. Let's see if I can pull that up. Oh. It's not too bad. So the carrot, the egg, and the coffee bean are ways people behave when there's pressure. There's some kind of an event that happens, and they have a choice to how they want to respond. When you respond like a carrot, think about hot water. When you put a carrot into hot water, it changes the carrot. The carrot doesn't change the water changes the carrot. It gets manipulated, right? It gets changed. And sometimes that's how people behave. And then they end up kind of like this little snowman, or you just fall to pieces, right? You lose confidence. You don't want to deal with conflict. You'll go tell other people you're upset about something, but you won't likely have a courageous conversation with somebody because your emotions are high and you're scared, and something gets in the way, right? An egg kind of hardens up when it goes in the water, and it goes from soft to hard. So that water makes it a hard-boiled egg. So it's very opposite of the carrot. It's more, it's not me, it's you. These people are very deflective. They're oftentimes not reflective. They resist getting better with judgment because they think it's other people need to change, not them. And that's very dangerous, sometimes just as dangerous as the carrot. And then you get around people who are coffee beans, you put coffee in the water, it won't do anything to the coffee bean. The coffee bean will change the water. Very different from the way the carrot and the egg behave. And coffee beans make the water into a nectar that I cannot resist. It's the first thing I do in the morning is turn on the coffee maker. My breath could literally smell awful. And I'm gonna go to the coffee machine and turn that on before I brush my teeth. When I hear it running, I can smell it. Right? How many of you look forward to the smell of coffee? Right? Coffee is, I mean, look at Starbucks. Starbucks is the complicated drinks that all start with coffee, right? Espresso and other stuff. Coffee changes everything. So coffee beans are often people who are very leveled. They're very good at being unbiased. They oftentimes can be around carrots and eggs and try to convert them, try to help them get better. They don't find fault with them. They try to embrace them to get them to understand, hey, it's better when you come over here, right? This is a better place to be. This took me a long time to figure this out. There's a book by John Gordon about the coffee bean. Super short read. It's about 100 pages. And it talks about this whole carrot, egg, coffee bean thing. I'm only taking what he did and sharing it with you. It's not my invention. I wish it was. Yeah. I would almost eat that. Oh, I think I would want to eat that. That might not end well. Well, this has been great. I appreciate the partnership with Alex and his family and with Georgia. And maybe we'll get a chance to talk to people at lunch. I'm going to be here for the Curiosity Lab also. So thank you for your time. This has been awesome. Appreciate it.